Language, a concept as old as humanity itself, used to communicate countless things across individuals or groups, to share an experience, an idea, or to assess a modern issue, like human impact. Over the years, humans have used extensive amounts of fossil fuels to produce countless products. These exact fossil fuels produce the greenhouse gases which have risen Earth's average temperature by 0.8 degrees Celsius. This very issue was caused by the enormous production of plastics, the very same ones found stuck within the digestive tracts of rotten animal carcasses. People have tried to inform large companies and or powerful figures related to this topic in an attempt to reduce their use, therefore production, of plastics and so minimize greenhouse emissions altogether, with the results leaving much more to be desired. Some outstanding individuals determined to make a change, like Greta Thunberg, the 15-year-old activist who has single-handedly and through a series of seriously good speeches rose the attention of this whole human impact issue. Or the documentary show War on Waste, hosted by Craig Ruckelshaus, which definitely had a massive impact in Australia, focusing greatly on the recycling crisis and the impact of plastics in our oceans. These examples had an impactful effect on the people they were exposed to, thanks to how well language and communication was utilized within each. In what way did they accomplish this? You may be asking. Well, to start off with, War on Waste is a whole productions effort. There's the writers and researchers, who do obviously what they're named after, the producers, who get most of the trash seen in the show, as well as editing and equipment, and last, certainly not least, host and face of the show, Craig Ruckelshaus. Unlike boring essays and excruciatingly long feature articles, the show raises awareness in their argument through raw examples, in a series of entertaining and attention-drawing, bold and short episodes, summing up to complete 2 whole seasons of the controversial documentary show series. As I previously stated, the show specializes in a form of raw data representation, plotted forcefully right into our faces. An example of this would be the very start of the show's second season, where they film one literal plastic footprint of about 10 meters squared at Manly Beach to the absolute top with 400 bags of regular grocery dimensions. This was done to show people the exact amount of plastics being thrown at each minute from every household, this being an astonishing 1 ton of plastics for every minute that passes. Damn. Many more examples like these can be seen in the series. The interesting, interactive and raw way in which the show tells people just how bad the situation is really engages and motivates or forces people to change the way they think and act accordingly. Another, less interesting and mentioned example is Greta teen Eleonora Ehrman Thunberg, the world-recognized 16-year-old Swedish activist. Remember that one climate protest that happened on the 24th of May just a few months back? Well, it happened around 112 different countries and involved somewhere around 1.4 million students. That was all Greta Thunberg's doing. That was the potential an emotive and well-presented 3-minute speech had. In this UN speech, she had started off slow, only to suddenly start mentioning passive-aggressive facts about the more powerful and wealthy individuals and groups. Saying things like,
"Our civilization is being sacrificed for the opportunity of a very small number of people to continue making enormous amounts of money."
Which pretty much summarizes her whole speech. But the point I'm trying so hard to make is that her use of repetitive examples in a diverse, aggressive and factual way made it possible for the audience to evoke an emotional and deep response to this very speech consisting on barely 400 words. Long story short, she's a very efficient word user, with her speeches mainly focusing on contrasting the rich with the poor while also mentioning deeply well-known facts about climate change causes. Finally, there's a certain podcast we all should know about, related more towards the
China's decision to stop importing low-grade recyclables has plunged the Australian industry into chaos.
on shoe. This very simple yet widely broadcasted Triple J radio podcast presents us with the overall situation of the recyclables not being recycled and so ending up in landfills. Unknown radio guy mentions angry Australian environmentalists having angrily spread their recyclables on the Parliament steps in an act of retaliation. Then a live point of view is given by a radio reporter at site. This particular example doesn't do much with its rather poor and unsophisticated vocal presentation. Rather, its use of the people and broadcast status, which combined were able to effectively motivate more people to protest, are considered a success. At last, these examples show well-executed manners in which language and communication can be used to effectively motivate people into taking action. Be it an entertaining show in ABC, a well-educated Swedish girl, or some 5-minute radio podcast heard by thousands of Australians. In conclusion, without proper communication, there wouldn't be proper action.